Hello, OGC here again with some more gaming history. As promised in last week's video on even wins, we're doing a little bit of a side quest here and looking at the alternate version of even wins that's in 101 basic computer games. Now, I mentioned that there are two versions of the game. The one that we looked at last week is the original version of the game, and it uses a more conventional AI scheme, if you would. Like it has a very set difficulty, a very set algorithm that it plays by, and as mentioned, you can only beat it if you go first. This version of the game, however, which is called Even One, Game of Even Wins, and is also nicknamed Cybernetic Edition. I think Cybernetic Edition is a pretty cool nickname for it, but it's not really an official name of, of this version of the game. But yeah, this version uses a learning AI algorithm. So essentially what happens is, and the instructions will explain this to us as well, that the computer starts out knowing only the rules and the basics of the game, and it gradually learns to play well. So this should be difficult to beat it after about 20 games in a row. And yeah, it sounds about right. It starts winning at around about that point. Honestly, the computer is pretty terrible to start out with, but it does eventually get a lot better. So this version of the game was written in-house at Digital Equipment Corporation by a guy named Eric Peters. We've actually seen another one of his games in the past because he developed the Lunar Lander variant Rocket, which is the easier version of Lunar Lander that's included in basic computer games. So in terms of some of the other differences between this version of Even Wins and the original is that we have chips instead of marbles, and the game also randomizes the number of chips in the pile at the start of the game, although it's still always an odd number, like in the original version. The most notable difference from a gameplay slash strategic standpoint is the fact that you don't get to choose whether you go first or second in this version of the game. The computer will always be going first, which does mean that if it learns to play really well and understands the game properly, it will get to a point where you, the player, will not be able to beat the computer because it is in the advantage position of going first. Which is kind of an interesting choice because you would think, why wouldn't you give the choice? But I can see the sense in it in that it showcases how bad the computer is at the start of a game, in that it always starts in the advantaged position and yet consistently squanders it in some of the stupidest ways imaginable. And then eventually you get to see it improve where it starts to take games off of you and then eventually starts winning more often than not. Anyway, that's enough talk. This is meant to be a side video. I don't want it to be longer than the original one, although it might be. Just because of the nature of the game, you want to see the computer getting better, so you might end up playing quite a few rounds of this. So I'll just get into it and I'll run through it fairly quickly and just comment at any point if I need to. You see it already learned there and already beat me. Granted, I probably should have only taken one to start with because that would have confused it a bit more, but oh well. Made a pretty stupid move there. He really should have just taken three, and then it could have tried to win. And you see that the computer can do some pretty dumb stuff like this, like it had a winning position where it should have taken me out, but then I only take one, and then it takes all four of the chips for some undisclosed reason. See, it's getting the hang of it now. Although it still does some dumb stuff. It's not really learning, is it? I keep making the same move, and it keeps making the same mistake, and I keep winning. I feel like we may be getting to a point where the AI is not really learning anymore, because I'm using the same strategy over and over again, and it keeps beating it. So what I'll do is I'll play 2 more games, and then that'll be it. One more. Yeah, it's really not learning at this point anymore, so I think we'll call it there. As you can see, it's you sort of get the idea that it is learning as you progress and it can win off of you. However, it does appear that the system is a little bit flawed because I'm keep playing the same strategy over and over again and it's not figuring out how to beat me. So yeah, as I said, we'll call it there for this little side quest video that's not really little because it's probably longer than the after editing it, it'll probably be longer than the original Even Wins video, but that's okay. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with your friends, get gaming history out into the world, especially this gaming history, because it's very unknown and very overlooked, but a very important part of gaming history nonetheless. So take care and we'll see you next time for the next game. Bye.